loved one have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So the new leadoff man, Eldemaro Vargas, playing second base for Ketel Marte in this late lineup change. Usually don't find out about lineup changes right when you're under the gun of the first pitch. Here's Rogers, and his first pitch is whacked in the air out to deep left field. Retreating Ward, he's underneath it on the move, makes the running grab. And with that, we've got one pitch and one out. First inning is being brought to you by Jones Junction. If your vehicle needs service, stop by Jones Junction. Any maker model online at jonesjunction.com. One up and one set aside. Here comes the red-hot Corbin Carroll, who's been on base 12 of his 13 games this season. Just a tremendous player. Pitched by Rogers in there for a cold strike one. 4 doubles, 3 triples already, a couple of home runs, and 11 driven in. It's been a red-hot start and somewhat surprising if you compare the notes for Corbin Carroll against Jackson Holliday or Francisco Lindor. Check swing by Carroll on the pitch inside. They appeal down to third. Brendan Miller said he didn't swing. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Corbin Carroll, Francisco Lindor, Jackson Holliday, all with hamate bone surgery. A little comebacker dribbling towards the mound. From the dirt of the bump, Rogers throws to first. And very quickly, 2 up and 2 set aside. That brings up Geraldo Perdomo, the number 3 batter for the 9-8 Arizona Diamondbacks. We're ready to close out a very long road trip to open up a road portion of their schedule this season. After spending basically the first 2 weeks out west, at home with the lengthy homestand, then a short series against the San Diego Padres, they packed their bags for a lengthy one out east through Flushing, New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and here in Maryland. The pitch, fastball over to Perdomo for strike one. They won 2 out of 3 in New York against the Metropolitans. Took 2 out of the 3, including shutting down the Philadelphia Phillies on Saturday and Sunday. Strike one pitch, ground ball, wide to third, past the reach of Alexander. Diving grab made by Henderson, but he has no play. Couldn't plant deep in the hole at the shortstop position. Went to pop up, but he wouldn't have a shot at Perdomo, who runs pretty well up the first base line anyway. And there's a 2-out base runner for the Diamondbacks. That brings up the 22-year-old Jose Fernandez. Fernandez, 3 extra base hits. He's DHing today. Deep in the right-handed batter's box. Rogers deals and misses low with a fastball for ball 1. When Trevor Rogers is at home, you can settle in and expect absolute dominance. And that was exactly the case on opening day when he fired 7 tremendous frames. Lefty to work, swinging a foul back off to our right. 1 ball and 1 strike. 4th start of the season and his 106th of his major league career. And more recently, he's worked 6 or more innings and allowed 2 runs or less in all 3 of his starts this season. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch to Fernandez, that's low. 2 balls and 1 strike on the cleanup man for the Diamondbacks. Nolan Arenado standing out on deck after his 2 home run performance last night. Two-1, swing and a miss. Over top of the changeup, and it evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first, leaning away. And now Fernandez asks for time. Perdomo stepping away his lead, held by Pete Alonso over at first. Two coming. Nope. First a move to first. Perdomo will run. He's got 4 stolen bases in 7 attempts already. Two balls, 2 strikes. And the come home. And it's popped out of play beyond the first base dugout. And that clears the head of Craig Albernas, who's back at the helm. And what was an incredibly concerning scene in the middle portion of last night's game where Jeremiah Jackson fouled the ball off sideways towards the open end of the Orioles dugout. It struck the manager in the face as he was turning away from the liner. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled back under our feet. Count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Albie knew that he was hit flush. He knew that it was dramatic. Wasn't sure of the impact, wasn't sure of the severity in the moment. Reached up with his bare hand, checked his cheekbone, noticed there was blood, turned away from the cameras. He was braced immediately by hitting coach Dustin Lynn, and they got him under cover in the bowels. The 2-2. Down and in, and it scoots away from Basayo, has to track it down at the backstop. Perdomo turns around second, bolts towards third. The throw by Basayo not in time, but the runner overslid the bag, and he's out! Thank you very much. Perdomo trying to sneak the extra 90 feet with Basayo turning his back to the play. Through a BB down to third base, Alexander tags his former teammate who slid past the third base cushion. He's out, and the side is retired. No score through our first half. Birds to the dish right after. I don't know about you, but I just felt a buzz coming to the ballpark. It comes from the game day staff. It comes from the guys in the clubhouse. It comes from the coaching staff. There was a feel on the field today and around it. Henderson takes the first pitch on the outside corner from Merrill Kelly for strike 1. It was a remarkable come-from-behind victory last night by the Orioles. And what went from feeling like a mop-up situation to a white-knuckle ride to get to the win column. Pitch to Henderson, over for another called strike, and it's quickly 0-2. A couple of cutters from Merrill Kelly. Working out of the windup, the veteran rocks and fires. And Henderson taps it towards the middle, shuffling to his right. Perdomo picks it up and fires to first in time to get Henderson leading off the game for the O's. Down 7-1, waiting on something to break. Leody Taveras with what seemed like a harmless RBI single kicked it all off. Then next thing you know, the bases are loaded. Jeremiah Jackson connects for his first career grand slam, which might be the all-time souvenir passed from one player to anybody on the staff. Giving that grand slam ball to his manager, Craig Albertaz, after the ball game. Inscripted on the pearl, sorry, homie. Jeremiah Jackson. Here's Taylor Ward, swing and a miss, strike 1.
Yeah, the game is everything that you love about baseball, and Orioles baseball for that matter. But the Orioles, I think, needed a moment like that.
Breaking ball down and away.
They're off to a solid start. They're 9-7. But that's the kind of win that kind of wakes everyone up throughout Birdland and says, oh, this could be different.
And it makes ripple effects across the game, too. The 1-1, chopped away foul at home plate.
And then let's not kid ourselves here. The Jeremiah Jackson story is great. He almost didn't make the team. He's only starting at second base every night because of the injury to Jackson Holiday. And then we all kind of lived and died with Pete Alonso these first few weeks. And it's so good to see Pete get going. But for him to have that moment after having a big moment the day before.
1-2, fastball's in tight.
It was a peculiar game. We had a couple of weird reviews. The batter in front of Alonso before the two-run homer, Taylor Ward, gets hit by a pitch in the hand. That could go a few different ways. You never want to see that.
He's in the box tonight. And the pitch to him popped up. Shallow to center field. Vargas retreating back from second. Here comes Barossa in center. He makes the play from the outfield, and there are 2 down.
And although Albert Suarez had a bad 6, after the Orioles came back and got a big, 5 spot to make it just a 1-run game, he came back and put a goose egg up just when they needed him to. So a really interesting game. The Orioles have been in a few interesting games recently. And now everyone's kind of on the edge of their seat as Alonso bats.
Here he is. The pitch to the polar bear. In tight from Merrill Kelly for ball 1. It was a defining moment for Pete Alonso in every sense of the word. Both the impact with the swing, his reaction rounding the bases, and of course for the entire clubhouse celebrating the victory. The 1-0. Alonso with a liner the opposite way into right field. Carroll with great speed runs it down. Crowd number 3 and the Orioles are turned away in order. We are through 1, no score on the Orioles Radio Network. 3-game series with a getaway day in front of us tomorrow for both the Diamondbacks, who will be off on Thursday. The Orioles dive right back into it. They start their trip with a 4-game series in Cleveland coming up on Thursday night. Trevor Rogers to work. Airmails a fastball up and away on Jose Fernandez, who returns with a fresh count in the batter's box after Geraldo Perdomo went to second base on a wild pitch, thought he could sneak third, but was thrown out by Samuel Basayo. The 1-0, swing and a miss past the changeup, and it's 1 strike on Fernandez. I love watching Samuel Basayo throw, and when he can really air it out, like he did with that longer throw from behind home plate down to third, it's really fun to watch. The 1-1, down and in, 2 strike. It's been a long time since we've seen Basayo over at first base, but I used to like to see him let it rip defensively when he would throw corner to corner, or even watching him during infield drills. 2-1, changeup tapped away foul at the plate by Fernandez. Even count of 2 strikes. Last half inning, we were talking about manager Craig Albernaz, who heard from the entire baseball community last night. And I think we have a deeper appreciation now that the regular season games are rolling, hearing more and more coaches and managers talk about the relationship with Albie. Here's a smash toward shortstop, low line drive that bounces past the extended reach of Gunnar Henderson, and Fernandez is aboard, leading off the second with a base hit. Craig was in the office chatting with me before we sat down with our pregame interview. He heard from all 29 major league managers last night. All 29 major league managers either called or texted Craig Albernaz in the aftermath of what unfolded. One by word of mouth, also then once the highlight show started to roll. Here's Nolan Arenado, check swing roller, back to Rogers, goes to second for one. Jackson spins it to first, in-time double play. Cool, calm, collected. The lefty over to the second base bag, and Jackson had plenty of time to get the veteran Arenado. 2 down on the double play, brought to you by Slocum Law. At the Mike Slocum Law Firm, we're tough because tough gets you more money. Over $1 billion so far. Injured after an accident? Call the Mike Slocum Law Firm. Here's the pitch to Luken Baker, a late addition to this lineup for the Diamondbacks. And he gets a first pitch strike from Rogers. Ketel Marte, who homered twice last night, scratched. Luken in. On the outside corner. Nice sweeper on the back door from Rogers. Jumping in front, 0-2. Luken Baker has one at bat, and he struck out in his only plate appearance this season. Lace him up, kid. The pitch, swinging a foul back. No balls and 2 strikes. 29 years of age, big guy in the batter's box, 6 feet 4 inches, 285 pounds. The 0-2, bounce to the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He's had some massive power years in the minor leagues. 32 home runs, 33 home runs, 145 career minor league home runs. He started playing professionally in 2018. That's a lot.
1-2, down and away. Changeup fades off the plate from the left-hander. He's played straight away in the outfield. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball is a little high. Now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes on Luken Baker. Infield's relaxed. Everybody wearing their home white uniforms tonight. 3-2 coming. And a swing and a line drive past the dive of Jackson at second base into right field. A 2-out single, and it'll split the gap. Long run for Cowser, trying to cut that ball off in the gap. Baker powers down after turning around first and ends up with a very long single. That surprises everybody in the ballpark, as he went from thinking 2 to thinking, oh no, I'm only going to have 1. And James McCann is announced to Oriole Park, and it's a slow building ovation. This Tuesday night crowd welcoming back James McCann, who lifts his cap in appreciation. Many of his former teammates applauding on the top railing of the first base dugout. That's a very nice moment for James McCann. He wasn't an Oriole during the 2025 campaign. That was his first blush in Arizona, and now his first start in this series as a Diamondback. Rogers throws low, ball 1. They gave him a pregame video tribute last night that was recognized by the Monday night crowd. But I think it's different when you're heading to the plate with your first official at bat.
Yeah, it was great to see him the other day. Obviously, it brings a level of toughness that few can bring.
The 1-0 downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. You and I thought about that day right here at Oriole Park.
Call the ball, catcher's challenging.
It was July 29th of 2024. We have a first challenge of the night. The Orioles are challenging, and the pitch was low.
Pitches the ball. Baltimore has 1 challenge remaining.
1 challenge remaining for the rest of this one. We're in the second, no score. 2 out, and a runner at first. Well, we were thinking about that moment against the Blue Jays. James McCann was struck by a pitch in the face. In the face, bloodied in game 1 of a doubleheader. The 2-0, swing and a miss. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. You lived it, and you got the rapid reaction in the clubhouse that day. I mean, here he was with his snot box stuffed full of tissues, blood, puffy eyes, black and blue starting to build under his eyes, around his nose, on his cheeks. The 2-1. Big swing and a miss, and he tumbles to the turf. Batting helmet fell off after he got stuck in the clay in the batter's box.
Yeah, July the 29th, 2024, the Orioles win a game 11-5. Game 1 of a doubleheader. You are in the epitome of the dog days, and your catcher gets drilled in the face in the first inning of game 1 of a doubleheader.
The 2-2, swing and a miss. Got him with a sweeper. The first strikeout for Trevor Rogers tonight will retire the side. We stay scoreless after an inning and a half on the. With Brett Hollander, I'm Ben Wagner. Alec Hildebitel, Ryan Leshko behind the scenes tonight. Orioles, Diamondbacks scoreless. We start the second inning for the Birds. And the first pitch to Samuel Basayo in there for a called strike 1. A little bit of a rogue rain cell has arrived beyond the wall in left field, and there are some drops coming out of the sky right now. Strike 1 pitch. In tight on Basayo, 1 ball and 1 strike. There's plenty of sunshine, blue sky slivers over the warehouse, but we look out beyond the left field wall, a gray cloud starting to slide above.
Yeah, north and west is the rain.
1-1, swinging a high fly ball, straight away center field. Back goes Barossa. That ball is long gone. Oh my goodness! Sam Bam does it again. That is the way you announce yourself as the cleanup hitter on a steamy night in Baltimore. You drive it through the raindrops and you get your club a 1-0 lead. Third of the season for Samuel Basayo, who has to feel good about that contact. He had been struggling on the homestand. Back to work for Dylan Beavers. He gets a called strike from Merrill Kelly, and it's 0-1.
Who's the play-by-play guy who said that baseball had a family?
1 pitch downstairs. Probably the same guy that said, get the married men off the infield.
That was destroyed. About 110 off the bat, 430 feet. Pulled just a little to right field.
The 1-1, that's down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike on Dylan Beavers. I mean, that ball was almost as impressive as the one that he landed next to the tomatoes out there in the batter's eye. 2-1 pitch outside. 3 balls and 1 strike on Dylan Beavers. So we've seen 439 feet to straightaway center field from Basayo. That one at 431. Yeah, the one that he took the opposite way on Sunday, which was tremendous. Now Beavers skies one straightaway center. The ballpark will hold this. Barossa in center, drifting to his right. He flags it, and there's 1 away. But it is 1-0 courtesy of the cleanup hitter. Fueled by Club Citgo. Cleanup on savings on every fill-up at Club Citgo. Download the app and start saving. 1-0. Leone Taveras steps in. Switch hitter on the left. The righty deals, and a fastball is high on Taveras. 1-0. Tavares takes a sweeper in for a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Leone, who went 1 for 3 last night and is kind of lost in the shuffle of that come-from-behind victory when he had a soft RBI single in the 6th. 1-1 coming. He drives it straight away center field. It's starting to carry. Barossa back edge of the track, runs it down in front of the 4-10 marker, where there's been some loud contact on 3 consecutive swings by the Orioles. Masayo's left the ballpark. Beavers and now Tavares playing it straight away. But 2 down. Colton Cowser comes to the plate to face the 37-year-old who 2 decades ago was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles out of high school. But Merrill Kelly said, nope, I am not going to sign. I'm going to go to college and pitch. Pitch to Cowser downstairs. A couple of years later, Cleveland tried to get him away from the college ranks. That didn't work out. In 2009, out of Arizona State, finally, the Tampa Bay Rays were able to select him in that 2014 draft. The 1-0 to Colton. Outside corner called strike. Gave it the count of 1-1. So 3 different times Merrill Kelly was selected in MLB's draft, and he waited until the trifecta. 1-1. Cowser takes low. 2 balls and 1 strike on the number 7 batter. But it wasn't smooth sailing. Once he decided to go into the draft, he entered the professional ranks with the Rays, who eventually would release him. The 2-1 pitch. That's downstairs. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike. A couple of cutters have not found the zone for Merrill Kelly. Infield drifts to the right, the 3-1 inbound. And Cowser taps it towards the shift. Past the dive of Arenado, the third baseman, and into left center. A base hit. A 2-out single for Baltimore. You can play the drift, the shift, whatever you want to call it. That ball had some eyes. How about the ovation here for Jeremiah Jackson? Teammates call him JJ. Family calls him Jeremiah. Arizona went berserk trying to learn who this man was last night. He was trending in the state of Arizona. Swing and a miss by Jackson, and it's 0-1. The reaction in the desert, far different than the reaction here in Maryland. Quick move over to first. Snap tag applied by Baker. It's a little bit late on Cowser. Merrill with the Abe kickoff move. A 2-homer night for the first time in his career. Couldn't remember the last time that he hit a grand slam. Didn't think he did it as a professional. Jackson swings and tips it off into the glove. No balls and 2 strikes. Orioles second baseman with a double, now 3 home runs. 11 driven in. Had a tremendous start to this campaign. Move towards first again. Cowser on a snap tag. Just able to beat it.
Kelly's got a good move for a right-handed pitcher.
Diamondbacks want to hold up a minute, go to the video replay room in the visiting clubhouse just to make sure. It was close. Torey Lovello flexes his finger, said play on. Yeah, it's a really good move. And Cowser is maxed out. We found that out on the last 2 throws over. Well, they roll the dice here with Jackson down 0-2. He jukes away from first. He holds the lead. He bluffs, and it's a pitch out. Snap throw from the catcher down to first base, not in time. James McCann from the back end of the battery trying to slip that throw behind Cowser. And it was 0-2. Why not try? See if he can get the quick out.
I agree. You don't see the pitch out as much these days. I don't really understand why, though.
There's the pitch, and Jackson swings and drives it up the middle, a base hit. Cowser will go station to station. A couple of 2-out singles for Baltimore here in the second. Leading 1-0. Runners at first and second for Blaze Alexander, the former Diamondback. Laboring here in the second with some two-out traffic after the leadoff home run from Samuel Basayo. Kelly deals. Got a breaking ball, misses low. Check swing, they appeal to first, and first base umpire John Tom Payne said he didn't go around. So ball one in the at-bat. The 1-0. Alexander drives it in the air out to left center field. Going back is Barossa with room on the warning track, runs it down. Well, the Orioles playing in the big part of the ballpark, conquered by Samuel Basayo to start this second. His 431-foot blast makes it 1-0 Baltimore as we go to the third on the Orioles Radio Network.
Ever feel like the road is out to... Thankfully, Hyundai is always working to ensure it doesn't, with over 130 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006.
Rogers, and so to work is Brett Hollander.
Thank you, Ben Wagner. And the first pitch to Tawa is a ball, 1-0. Rogers 2 scoreless so far, but he has allowed 3 base hits. Swing and a miss at a disappearing cutter, 1-1. That rain cloud seems to be leaving right over the top of Camden Yards, headed east, but it is drizzling at the ballpark. A pop-up on a bunt back towards us, a foul ball and out of play, 1-2. 1-2 to Tawa. And the start tonight, the number 8 hitter for Torey Lovello's Diamondbacks. You know they want to get the bad taste from last night out of their mouth. The 1-2. Right back towards us. A foul ball. It will land just below us and out of play. It remains 1-2. Rogers has scattered 3 hits. Well, a couple were not hit hard at all. But he was able to pitch out of some trouble because of a wild pitch and then Geraldo Perdomo. And this is a jam shot liner down the right field line. Foul out of play. It remains 1-2. In the first inning, Perdomo took second base on a wild pitch, tried to advance to third, had made it, and made it by plenty, but he overslid the bag, and Basayo's throw got in late. Eventually, Blaze Alexander was able to tag him out. Swing and a miss. It gets away from Basayo. He recovers, goes to first base, with Alonso straddling the bag to complete the strikeout. 1 down and back-to-back Ks for Rogers.
I chatted with manager Torey Lovello after the ballgame. And his wife, Kristen, is in town, and she loves coming to Baltimore, he told me. He said, but I was angry. I had a no good, terrible, rotten, absolutely dreadful Monday night.
Yeah, for a manager, that does not feel good. Down and in to Barossa. Pretty much the worst feeling. Every bullpen move you make backfired. Every single one of them. A little low. 2-0. And then the second, by the way, for Rogers, base hit to lead things off, then a double play ball, then another base hit, and then a strikeout. So there has been some traffic. Rogers, his fastball in his last start against the White Sox on the road was down a little bit. The 2-0, a strike there, 2-1, but tonight it is elevated. It is the best we've seen all year, about 93, 94, except for maybe the first 2 innings on opening day. So it looks like he's feeling really good. The 2-1. Low for a ball, 3-1. Rogers, who has pitched 2 scoreless so far tonight, the numbers are just crazy at this point. This is his 4th start of the year. He's now given up 4 earned runs in 21 1/3 innings. ERA creeping to 1.5. A pop-up foul out of play over our heads, and it's 3-2 to Barossa. And again, this is what's crazy, Wags. And I keep saying this. The combination for Rogers, in some ways, is pretty simple. Walk no one, essentially, and allow very few, if any, home runs. Generally speaking, that's going to work out for you. The 3-2, A jam shot into shallow left. Ward, a late jump. He'll dive. He'll knock it down. It lands just in front of him. He can't find the baseball. Barrosa will make it to second base on a bloop base hit. Henderson had to fetch it from short left field after Ward attempted to make a diving play. He came up several feet short. He knocked it down, but then couldn't find it, and that turned into an easy double.
Taylor Ward reading the swing and not the flight of the ball, and Barrosa took a very big hack at that, but off the top of his knuckles. And that was no gimme either.
We've seen Ward attempt to dive on balls he's come up short and left a few times, and it's led to extra bases. Vargas will bat, a chance to drive in a run. 1-0 Baltimore, top of the third. In the dirt for a ball, 1-0 to Vargas, who's the leadoff hitter right now. He was not the original leadoff hitter. That was Ketel Marte, who hit 2 mammoth home runs last night, but he was a late scratch right before first pitch tonight. By the industry standards, as late as it gets. A strike on the outside corner with a cutter, 1-1. But you look at this, and this just shows you that although I'm not sure if Rogers will keep an ERA below 2, last year was no fluke. Last season, he averaged a walk every 2.5 times per 9. A half a swing by Vargas. He went too far in a changeup. He was fooled badly, 1-2. Through 3+ starts, he's off to the same identical number, 2.4 walks per 9. It's crazy. And like last year, Rogers has not allowed a home run this season. Last year he averaged 0.5 per 9, which is extremely low. 1-2 to Vargas. The pitch by Rogers. Down and in, almost hit him with a cutter. It's 2-2. So through 3+ starts, no home runs allowed by Trevor Rogers. Last year, he only allowed 6 home runs, covering almost 110 innings. That's freakish. 2-2 to Vargas. Rogers sets at the belt with a runner at second base. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Got him with a changeup. 3 strikeouts for Rogers. His last 3 outs recorded by strikeout. Now 2 down, and Corbin Carroll will bat. Left on left. And for every strikeout recorded by an Orioles pitcher, Autumn Lake Healthcare will donate to the Alzheimer's Association of Maryland in support of the fight to strike out Alzheimer's. Carroll looks at a ball outside, 1-0. Corbin Carroll, who saw his numbers dip a little bit in 24, well, let's just say he had a major bounce-back season in 25, an all-star campaign, 143 games, 32 doubles, 17 triples, and 31 home runs. Oh, by the way, he stole 32 bags. A stat-stuffing machine is Corbin Carroll. The 1-0, swing and a miss. Late on a fastball, 95 from Trevor Rogers. Some extra juice tonight. Always great to get a win in front of a Trevor Rogers day, especially a win like last night. The 1-1. That's a strike 2. Back to a firm fastball, 1-2. Well, that just makes the changeup all the more devastating. Couple of really good fastballs to get ahead of Carroll. Barrosa at second base, he takes his lead. The 1-2. Down and away for a ball. Good take on a sinker. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1-0 Orioles, top of the third. A win today for the Orioles. And that's 7 of 8. Right, Wags? My math is right?
Good math. Good results.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Put him away with a sweeper. Rogers strikes out the side in the third. A bloop double. Left stranded at second base. We'll go to you by Ground Loop Geothermal. This season, not all the magic is on the field, but under. Let the ground you walk on heat and cool your home. Brett Hollander alongside Ben Wagner. Orioles baseball on the radio. Middle game of 3 between the Orioles and the Arizona Diamondbacks. 1-0 O's, bottom 3. Gunnar Henderson takes a ball outside from Merrill Kelly, who's off the injured list tonight. He's allowed just a solo homer to Samuel Basayo leading off the second. He did strand a couple of base runners in the second. Henderson tries to check his swing, but he looks at a strike. A fastball at 91, it's 1-1. Kelly does not throw that hard, but he has become quite the pitcher and a model of consistency. Last year, Arizona at the deadline out of contention, traded him to Texas. And then the Diamondbacks, still trying to win this year, brought him back on a brand new 3-year deal. 1-1 to Henderson. Down and in for a ball, 2-1. This is game number 173 in his career. All starts. A 3.77 lifetime ERA. The 2-1. Gunnar rolls one on the ground at first base. Baker, the big fella, has it. He'll jog to the bag to record an out. Gunnar's retired. Taylor Ward will bat. But Kelly, he's now had 4 different seasons with double-digit wins. And I know that win number for starters doesn't mean what it once did, Wags, when we were growing up. It still means something to me, but it shows some consistency there to get into double digits 4 different times. A big swing and a miss by Taylor Ward, and it's 0-1. He's wearing a protective guard tonight on that hand in front of that Alonso two-run homer. He was hit by a pitch in his hand, which is one of the worst places for a major league hitter to be hit, but he hits one very hard up the middle for a base hit. Ward gets a single, and he is a one-out base runner. You always worry about the hand with all the small bones, but then up against the firm lumber, there's nowhere for those bones to go. That one was off the end of the bat, but he got enough muscle on it to get it through, and now Alonso will bat. He lined out his first time up. One nothing Orioles. Bottom 3, right on right. And Alonso looks at a ball, 1-0. Before Alonso started to hit the ball better and get more extra base hits, including the home run last night. And by the way, his 3 career home runs against Merrill Kelly. The pitch, wave and a miss. Good curveball there by Kelly, 1-1. You saw the walks go up for Alonso for a few days. And that indicates a couple of things to me. One is he's putting less pressure on himself to do it and do it right now. It also says he's seeing the ball pretty well. But he told me the other day that when people think you leave New York to go to another market, there is, quote, less pressure. You are wrong. There's always pressure. There goes Ward. The pitch of the ball, throw to second base, is safe is the call. It gets away from the shortstop, Perdomo, and Ward steals the bag. His first steal as an Oriole. He beats a James McCann throw, and he's in scoring position with just 1 out. Taylor Ward says he wants to steal more bases. He told us that in the offseason. Orioles aren't stealing many as a team, but that's a good sign, and that's today's Fast Play of the Game. Brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Play Fast Play Home Run Riches from the Maryland Lottery all season long. The 2-1. A half a swing by Alonso. He got tied up on a good curveball on the inner half, 2-2. So a runner at second base, just 1 out. But Alonso said there's pressure everywhere you go. Pressure on yourself, pressure that you want to perform for your teammates, the organization. What's different is the life around everything. The 2-2, outside for a ball, 3-2. And every time I talk to him, you know me, Wags, I give him my Baltimore sales pitch. And he says, you don't have to sell me. I love it here. The meeting is over. That took place in December. 3-2 to Alonso. Outside ball 4. There's another walk for Pete. And when he's walking, he's contributing. First and second, just 1 down. And here's the big fella, Samuel Basayo, who had a rocket home run, a majestic shot into the right center field bleachers his last time up. Went about 435 feet, and it got out in an instant. O's trying to pad their lead. They're up 1-0 in the bottom of the third. This offense coming to life a little bit, and they're doing it without Adley, who was probably the team's 3rd best hitter when he went on the injured list. Mountcastle was starting to contribute. He's on the injured list. Basayo takes a strike on 1. There's still no Jordan Westberg. There's no Jackson Holiday. So you start thinking what could be. But it can't just be Ward, Henderson, and then it was Rutschman. The Orioles are getting more contributions these days as Basayo looks at a ball, 1-1. A little more depth to the lineup these last few days, and it's starting to add up in runs. Plus, the Orioles much more powerful these last few days. They were stuck on like 6 home runs for a week. The 1-1, Basayo takes it down. A changeup that missed. 2-1, the Orioles now have 16 home runs, puts them at about the midway point of the 30 clubs, but they have 8 home runs in their last 7 games. That's top 5 in baseball. Basayo looks at one outside, 3-1. And I think we have a challenge.
Previous pitches called the ball, the catcher's challenge.
That's the voice of the crew chief and home plate umpire Chris Conroy. The Orioles already down a challenge. The Diamondbacks get this wrong. They're now down a challenge.
Pitch the ball, Arizona has 1 challenge remaining.
And it's 3-1 to Basayo. Ward at second base. Alonso, the trail runner at first. Dylan Beavers on deck. 3-1. Pickoff play at second, and Ward gets back to the bag. The throw was not a good one from Kelly. It was to the first base side of the bag at second. It was not on the money. Had it been, maybe a close play. Ward was well off the bag as Perdomo, the shortstop, snuck in behind him. 3-1 to Basayo. Here's the pitch. Ball 4 inside. They are loaded. Orioles hit a grand slam last night. Beavers with that opportunity tonight. Brian Kaplan, the pitching coach, out to talk to Kelly, who's at 49 pitches. What's weird, Ben, is he only made 1 official rehab start. So how stretched out he is, it's hard to say.
Adams and Torey Lovell have been talking about that before the ballgame, too, and he said, well, he's not any different than anybody else, and he said the Diamondbacks at this stage of the season are actually clipping their starters earlier than a lot of teams to avoid an extended dead arm phase. Now, he's coming off of injury. He's going to fall right into that category as well. But the ramp-up happened in the backfields in Arizona, where they have their spring training facility, and they didn't feel that it was necessary for him to go rung by rung through the minor leagues. It was just go to Reno, get your pitch count where we like it. He was satisfied with the 72 pitches in his final rehab appearance. It'll go up from there, but it was a number that was discussed in the final hour before the outing on where he felt comfortable that he could pitch to.
Bases loaded full of birds. Only 1 out. It's 1-0 Baltimore in the bottom of the 3rd. Right on left as Kelly deals with Beavers. The pitch. Beavers a big uppercut swing. He gets just a piece of it at home plate for a foul ball, 0-1. Ward is at 3rd. He singled. Alonso is at 2nd. He walked. And Basayo is at 1st, and he also walked. The third baseman, Arenado, pinched in at 3rd. Everyone else backed up, and they're playing Beavers to pull on the infield. Beavers takes it down for a ball, 1-1. Unlike Merrill Kelly to miss the strike zone this much. Kelly last year gave up about 2 walks every 9 innings, so you can tell he's not himself right now. 1-1 to Beavers. Swing and a miss. Fooled by a changeup, 1-2. Leody Taveras is on deck. At the very least here, Beavers would love to get a fly ball in the air to at least medium depth. He's down the count, 1-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Beavers strikes out. Put him away with that change. 2 down. It will be up to Leody Taveras, who hit one very deep to center field his first time up. It was a fly ball out, but he got a lot of it. He's been a very solid addition so far for the Orioles. Taveras coming off of a miserable offensive season. Outside ball 1, 1-0. His time with the Rangers came to an end after being the starting center fielder for their World Championship club in 23. But a fresh start here in Baltimore. Cowser is on deck. Bases loaded, 2 down. The pitch by Kelly. Outside, ball 2. All right, Wags, what do you think? You letting it fire right here, 2-0?
Let it rip.
Much different than our forecast from last night.
Yeah, we got that one wrong. It's okay. We get them right a lot, too. The 2-0. Ball 3, yanked inside. All right, now you take 1 or 2.
I think you got to take now. On the 2-0, you could bank he was trying to get one over. 3-0, he needs to take it straight.
He really yanked that one. He overthrew it. 3-0. Taveras in the box. Switch hitter batting left-handed. The pitch. Taking all the way, and he takes ball 4. Kelly walks in a run. His third base on balls of the inning. And it's 2-0 Baltimore as Ward scores. Everyone else advances 90. We talk about early season moments. Colton has been searching for one. It has looked much better these last few games. Give Taveras his 6th RBI. Cowser hits it high in the air. He got under it. Center field and fairly deep. Barraza still going back at the edge of the warning track in dead center field. He makes the grab, and Cowser is retired. The Orioles get 1. They do leave him low. Fourth inning is brought to you by Toyota. Shop Toyota for legendary style and reliability, starting with the all-new RAV4. Shop Toyota.com for details and deals on your favorite Toyota. Let's go places. 2-0 Orioles now in the 4th. Rogers, 3 scoreless so far. He's allowed 4 hits, and he's piling up the strikeouts all of a sudden. A cutter into Geraldo Perdomo for strike 1, 0-1. Last 4 outs recorded by Rogers have come by the strikeout. Dean Kramer certainly got into a strikeout rhythm last night. A couple of long balls, but he punched out 9 in 5 innings and did not walk a batter. Perdomo bunts it in the air, foul. Off the screen behind home plate, quickly 0-2 to Perdomo. 9 strikeouts for Kramer in 5 is a lot. 1 off of his career high. He had 10 strikeouts on 3 separate occasions. And in a few weeks, he'll be able to stretch that pitch count a little bit. The 0-2, a little tapper, rolled towards third base, charging Blaze Alexander. He barehands it, fires to first. Way too late. It is an infield hit for Perdomo, who runs really well. A slow rolling base hit and the 5th hit for the Diamondbacks. He wanted a bunt? Well, that was in essence a bunt. And he's a threat to go. 4 steals this year, being held at first by Alonso. 2-0 Orioles, top of the 4th. Jose Fernandez the batter, and he takes a sinker low, 1-0. Rogers right now at 57 pitches. He's gone at least 6 in all 3 of his starts. All 3 of his starts have been the statistic quality starts. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Good cutter there, 1-1. His last start, he threw a season-high 101 pitches. On this lacrosse night at Camden Yards. Very Maryland of us, and I like it. 1-1 to Jose Fernandez. Toss over to first. Perdomo back easily. Now, did lacrosse make it to the great state of Indiana?
Right behind hockey.
So, no.
Yeah.
The 1-1. Poke foul off to the right, 1-2. It's interesting. I really saw lacrosse, even in my high school years, as a great opportunity because obviously it's everywhere here. All my friends played. but it was just starting out on television. It had been on TV for a handful of years. There goes the runner from first. Swing and a miss. Throw to second base is too late. Give Rogers another strikeout. Perdomo steals the bag easily, so he's at second base with one down.
It existed in the Hoosier State, but you had to find it on the club level. It wasn't everywhere in the high school ranks or in a more competitive kind of get yourself to the next level, potentially college sort of atmosphere.
I wonder if it is now. It's growing a little bit. Perdomo now with 5 steals. He's at second base. And 5 punch-outs for Rogers. The strikeout run he's on is certainly pushing his pitch count up. Arenado will bat. He hits it high in the air, deep down the left field line. It is hanging up in the air. Ward is over. It's a few rows back past the netting. It was way up there. Higher than the lights, but it's a strike, 0-1.
Interesting. Taylor Ward on the way back to his position yelled towards Gunnar Henderson and Blaze Alexander, pointed at his eyes. So at this time of night, he's going to need some help with balls that go up into the air.
0-1 to Arenado. The pitch. A pop-up. Short center. Jeremiah Jackson, the second baseman, directly back in the bag at second. Backpedaling, he makes the catch. 2 down.
Further the point of Taylor Ward in left field, that swing by the center fielder was Red Leody Taveras. He froze for a moment. He was looking for the ball through this kind of twilight moment and then realized there was action in front of him. He thought that ball was headed his way.
Big Lucan Baker will bat. Powerful minor league slugger in his career. 2 outs. He had a very long single his first time up. This pitch in the dirt. 1-0. I mean, he smoked one at the gap in right center field. He stumbled around the bag at first and then put the brakes on halfway to second and got back to the bag. That is a double 999 times out of 1,000 and probably a triple for some. Only a single for Baker. The 1-0. It goes right past Pasayo to the backstop, and Perdomo will get to third. We'll see what they score that. It looked like a pass ball to me. 2-0 to the batter, Lucan Baker. They're calling it a wild pitch. I mean, that's a pass ball as I look at the replay.
Yeah, it's, in my opinion, and you can, in today's game, you can be critical of scoring decisions, especially on wild pitches and pass balls, with the way that they're teaching right now. Trying to get the glove up, keep it down, snap the ball right back in, but that's just boxed through the 5-hole.
I don't think it actually touched the dirt until it got to the glove. But Basayo's missed some pitches recently. Everyone understands he's 21 with a huge future. And you need that bat in the lineup right now every day. It's 2-0 to Baker. Runner at third, 2 outs, 2-0 Orioles, top of the 4th. The pitch by Rogers. In the air to center field and shallow. It freezes Taveras. Now he trots in. He's under it, and he makes the catch. Perdomo left stranded at third base. Another scoreless frame for the Oriole ace, Trevor Rogers.
Offers a prime home plate view right behind home plate at the ballpark. Look out at the field. See the iconic warehouse. Find out more at Orioles.com/TruistClub.
That's Ben Wagner. Overwhelmed by the moment. I'm Brett Hollander. Probably get a sip of water here. 2-0 Baltimore, bottom of the 4th. Jeremiah Jackson, Blaze Alexander, and Gunnar Henderson due up. Jeremiah Jackson takes a curveball in the dirt from Merrill Kelly. 1-0. Tough third inning for Kelly. He walked 3 and walked in a run. He's now at 60 pitches. The 1-0. Jeremiah Jackson rips us down the left field line. That is a base hit, fair ball, and in the corner. Jeremiah Jackson will turn second. He'll put the brakes on, and he'll head back to the bag. Tawa had trouble with it in left field. Another extra base hit for Jeremiah Jackson. He's 2 for 2. He's a hitting machine. And here comes Blaze Alexander. What is Craig Alvarez up to now? You got to remember that Jeremiah Jackson was a second-round pick. And although he spent a lot of time in the minors, Alexander squares around. He pushes a bunt towards first base. It's a good one. Lukin has it, bobbles it, flips it to first base in time to get Blaze Alexander. But a sacrifice executed. Job well done. Jeremiah Jackson, a third with just one out. Oh, you love to see that for your number 9 hitter. A bunt pushed perfectly towards first base.
Took the words right out of my mouth. He went up there with a plan and executed, and that's what you have to do. You have to make the right side of the infield handle the ball. If you're going to bunt like that, you want to hit it with pace.
Now the infield forced to come in with Henderson batting. Gunnar, a slow tapper foul first base side, 0-1. So you have Jackson at third base. There's only one out. Baltimore already had 2-0. With Trevor Rogers on the mound, you just want to push it to 3, and then you want to push it to 4. Some days you want to play for the beginning. I think on a night like this, 3 or 4 might just do it. Kelly's from the wind. The pitch. Outside, McCann throws back at Jackson, and he's out at third base. They caught Jeremiah Jackson off the bag at third base, and James McCann, the veteran backstop, threw a perfect strike back of the runner at third, and Jackson is erased.
That is a set play by the Diamondbacks. As the pitch was going in, hit the glove of McCann. Arenado takes off, and Jackson was a dead duck.
Henderson batting with 2 outs and the base is empty, and that's low, 2-1. So Jackson gone. Henderson loops his foul back on home plate, 2-2. Well, that's frustrating. Orioles still had 2-0. Frustrating after a perfect bunt. I was talking to Jeremiah about his path, why last year did it all come together. He said the Angels were constantly tinkering with him at the plate. He said he finally feels free at the plate to be himself, going back to what he was when he was drafted in the second round. That's low for a ball, 3-2. I asked him if last night was the best night of his professional life. He said, yeah. I said, bigger than your major league debut, your first hit? He said, think so. 3-2 to Gunnar with 2 outs and the bases empty. Gunnar fouls it back to the bricks to stay alive. It remains 3-2. I did say, why last year did it come together? And compare how you feel now at the plate to last year. And he said, last year, and if you look at the numbers, it seems this way, it felt like he could not make an out. So he was even hotter in the minor leagues last year than he was now. The 3-2 hit foul and out of play back at home plate.
I mean, he had some big-time power numbers in the Pioneer League when he first burst onto the scene. You mentioned the second rounder. But that's when organizations go to work, and sometimes it's hard for a guy that knows a team invested a lot into him to say no and say, I got it, just leave me alone.
Gunnar tries to check his swing, goes too far on a changeup, and Gunnar strikes out. And Kelly, after a leadoff double, faces the minimum in the fourth. We are 4 completed Camden Yards. It's 2-0 when Divine Nine Night. Grab a special ticket package, score a limited edition bucket hat, and don't miss the Battle of the Bands. Groups of 15 and more save. Get tickets now, Orioles.com/ticket packages. It's 2-0 Orioles, top of the 5th. Here's Ben Wagner.
All right, thanks a lot, Brett Hollander. Trevor Rogers sails one outside of James McCann. He's leading off this 5th inning. Bottom third of the card for the visiting Diamondbacks. The pitch, the backstop. This is downstairs, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. James McCann, Tim Tawa, and then Jorge Barosa coming to the plate. Orioles got a Samuel Basayo home run in the second, added 1 in the third to make it 2-0 behind Rogers. He misses up and away. Trevor tonight threw 4 scoreless on 5 hits. He's fan 5, has not issued a walk. Now 68 pitches, 43 strikes for the left-hander. Rocks into the wind of the 3-0. Fastball in the inside corner called strike 1. James McCann just made a nifty defensive play on a timing route with Nolan Arenado, the third baseman, slipping in behind Jeremiah Jackson's secondary lead. 3-1. Ground ball towards the middle. Henderson with a dive, can't make the play. It'll bound by him into left center for a long single. And James McCann is aboard to open up the 5th inning. This 5th inning is being presented by Navy Football. Purchase your season, group, and single game tickets today at NavySports.com. It's crazy. We're talking about football season already. The draft is coming up for the NFL. Of course, a lot of college spring games will be happening in the next few weeks. There's Tim Tawa, who swings and misses, strike one. But it's always great to see Annapolis in the fall, especially with the mids on the gridiron. Third baseman even with the bag as Alexander stares in from the stretch. Runner at first. Rogers to the plate. Missed away. Fastball at 95 miles an hour. Evens the count at 1-1 strike. Tiptawa struggling at the plate. 3 for 29 this year. The pitch from Rogers. Wrapped it around the outside corner. That's the cut fastball for Rogers. It's behind 2-1 strike. Lights have really started to take hold in the last half inning or so. The 2-1, swing and a miss. That's the changeup. Boy, what a pitch by Trevor Rogers. He's behind 2-1. Tim Tawa, who's thinking about everything and how to get his bat going, was probably thinking, dead red, this guy's got to throw me a fastball. I'm ready for it. Here it comes. And then, oh boy, he was expecting the express, and then he got the local. Flailed at that pitch. What a setup by Rogers. Back in the at-bat. 2 strikes. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He got it with a sweeper. And another strikeout for Trevor Rogers. He's fanned 6. One down here in the 5th inning. We'll bounce around the out-of-town scoreboard presented by Johns Hopkins Medicine. Major League Baseball back in full force on this Tuesday night. Rogers to Barossa, who squares, pulls back. The fastball is in there for a called strike one. On that out-of-town scoreboard, they're slugging away in Philadelphia tonight. Into the 4th inning, the Cubs have out-hit the Phillies, but they trail 3-2. Strike one pitch. That's vaulted high in the air down the left field line, bending away foul. 1-1 strike on Barossa. Elsewhere, KC on the road in Motown with a 1-0 lead. They've played through 5. Top of the 5th inning at Cincy, the Reds with a 2-0 lead over the Giants. The pitch. That floats down and in. A ball and 2 strikes. Runner at first, 1 out, and now time called at the plate by Barossa. Did you catch what happened last night in New York? The Yankees and Angels had an epic slugfest. Aaron Judge hit 2 home runs. Mike Trout hit 2 home runs. It was a wild scene. 1-2 coming. Fastball's high. He counted 2 strikes. The Yankees would win on a wild pitch of all things, 11-10, when everything was said and done. But you had 2 guys squaring off that are superstars of all superstars. 2-2. Pitches inside for Rogers, and that'll move the count to 3-2 strikes. And they did not disappoint. I mean, Aaron Judge has been doing it for the last 5 years, rolling out of bed. Mike Trout, because of injuries, has been really hot at times, really cold at times, trying to find his footing. But, man, he is playing like an MVP. 3-2, corked up the left field line foul. Stays 3-2 strikes on Barossa.
Taylor Ward says Mike Trout is the kindest, nicest player in baseball. And for a superstar who's that accomplished, that famous, and has made that much money, that's really something.
And he thrives when he goes back home. Jersey guy, 3-2. That's down and away. First free pass issued by Rogers tonight. That'll bump a runner up to second base after the walk to Barossa. and bring up the newly minted leadoff man, Eldemaro Vargas. Drew French is on his way to the mound. The Johns Hopkins Medicine out-of-town scoreboard. The Johns Hopkins Proton Therapy Center at Sibley Memorial Hospital in D.C. delivers cancer-defeating precision with less side effects and an easier recovery. Find out more at hopkinsproton.org. When the superstars are the greatest ambassadors of the game and know their own humility as well for the greater good, you just love to hear stories about that. And that's from a teammate. Not just what you see in the optics in and around a game. Mound visit by the Orioles pitching coach. Drew French on the march, back to the near end of the dugout. Runners aboard at first and second. Rogers hoping for something on the ground to spin two. He's already induced one double play. The pitch. Outside, ball one. Orioles 2, Diamondbacks nothing. We're here in the fifth. Tonight looks a lot like how the season has gone for Arizona. The pitch. So we got a high fly ball out to left field, racing back Ward, getting to the warning track, feeling for the wall, reaches up, and he can't make the catch. It hits the top of the wall, and it is gone. It is gone for the Diamondbacks leadoff man, Eldemaro Vargas, who moved into the top spot the moment that the lineup cards were being exchanged. It's a go-ahead 3-run home run. And just as I was lamenting about how the Diamondbacks had lost their power coming into this series, they erupt for 4 home runs last night, and tonight Vargas gets his second of the season. And he puts the Diamondbacks on top by a run.
That was just out of the reach of Ward. It just cleared the wall. It didn't sound all that great.
A swing and a miss by Corbin Carroll. Ward, who had robbed a home run earlier in this homestand, went back to the wall, timed his leap, and may have been deterred by glancing the back of his wrist on the top of the fence. Chopper out to second, charging in. Jackson has it. Cleanly over to first. There's 2 down. This is the first time since 2025 that Trevor Rogers has allowed 3 or more runs here at Oriole Park. (3-2) Diamondbacks. Pitch misses on Geraldo Perdomo. It's ball one. What in the world do we have humming around the broadcast booth?
It's a gigantic bee or something.
It is making everyone, all 3 of us, nervous.
I mean, it is massive and it won't leave.
It looks like a blimp in the back of our booth.
It really does. It just came in maybe a couple of minutes ago, and there's a big window to exit.
Pitch by Rogers, cuts down and in on Perdomo. It looked like he offered it that ball. Diamondbacks by a run. We're here in the fifth.
He's either been spending too much time on the rooftop deck and is currently drunk or is lost.
Open the door. Get that guy out of here. Pitch in for a called strike, and it's 2-2. Send it next door, Big Al.
You know, Kevin Brown said he wanted to be in his booth. Now that you mention it.
Yeah. Shoo. 2 down, bases empty. The 2-2 is a little bit low. Sinker misses, moves the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Rogers out of the wine. The payoff, slap back foul. You two are making me nervous. I'm trying to focus on the game in front of us, and you guys...
I do apologize.
You guys are twisting and turning.
This thing is really humming.
Can we create a draft? 3-2. Chop to the middle of the diamond. Racing to his left. Henderson into a dive. Can't get to it. Boy, an all-out effort by Gunnar Henderson trying to slow down that ball in the middle of the diamond. Perdomo extends this 5th inning.
He's been on base 3 times with 3 hits.
3 for 3. You know, Geraldo Perdomo was one of the early arrivers for the Diamondbacks today. He was in the ballpark in a full lather taking some early batting practice at 2 o'clock today. He was trying to get the bat going, and manager Torey Lovullo said, hey, just relax. I love the workout. You're my number 3 hitter until we have to do something. And before that something happens, I'm going to let you know. But I'm your manager, and you're my guy. Rico Garcia loosening the bullpen for Baltimore.
For those wondering at home, the B has left the building.
I am sure they were on the edge of their chairs, just like you two.
I'm sorry, Wags. It was very unsettling. It was right over my head.
That means it's our head. Pitch is high from Rogers. 2 balls and no strikes.
And we can't lose Big Al. There's nowhere to go from here.
Runner from first is going. The pitch called a strike, throw down to second. It's not in time. Perdomo will get his second stolen base of the night. Now 6 on the season for Perdomo. He's in scoring position. 2 down here in the 5th. Vargas with a 3-run home run, changing the score in this game. 2-1. Swing and a miss. And it's 2-2. It's gone, right? Like it's totally gone?
Sayonara.
Didn't leave any friends.
It wasn't just any bee. Let's just be very clear about this.
Right. Yeah, this is not the kind and tender honeybee.
No, I don't know what that thing was. It was on steroids or something.
It had landing lights. 2-2. That's low. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
The stuff for Rogers still looks good. Maybe the command is a little off right now. But the pitch count is certainly elevated. You love to push him through this 5th, but you're going to be very careful with your ace.
2 down, runner at second. The 3-2 in the air, hit well. Straight away center field. Tavares turned to his left, back to his right, going back next to the wall, and it's off the top of the fence. He plays the rebound cleanly into second with a ringing RBI double goes Jose Fernandez. The Diamondbacks have scored 4 here in the 5th inning. A leadoff single, a 1-out walk, the 3-run home run, and now an RBI double for Jose Fernandez.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Rogers was cruising, but this had Rogers' quality starts and a win written all over it. And now he will leave this game trailing by 2.
Down 4-2 here in the 5th. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Jones Junction. If your vehicle needs service, stop by Jones Junction, any make or model, online at jonesjunction.com. The veteran Nolan Arenado is coming to the plate. All the rally for the Diamondbacks right here. Rico Garcia takes over for Baltimore. We're in the 5th inning. The Diamondbacks have surged in front with a 4-run 5th, leading 4-2. Trevor Rogers is out of the ball game. The book is open. The runner at second belongs to him. Nolan Arenado, who's headed to Cooperstown, now meets the resurgent Rico. Garcia closes up, hands in front of the buckle, kicks and brings it home. And the first pitch, a high strike called on Arenado. This is the 9th appearance this season for Rico Garcia. Only 3, that's right, 3 of the batters that he's faced, over 26 this season, have been able to reach. He is not allowed a run. He is not allowed a hit. He was perfect again on Monday night. The 0-1 to Arenado, swinging a foul back, and it's quickly 0-2. 6 of his 8 prior outings have been absolutely perfect. Only 2 of his outings have needed more than 11 pitches this season. So he has been pounding the strike zone. His stuff has been working. He's out in front with 2 down. With the runner at second. The 0-2 to Arenado. A fastball in there for strike 3. Arenado goes down looking. Another 3-pitch strikeout for Rico Garcia. The side is retired. Middle of the 5th. The Diamondbacks have. Ryan Leschko back at baseball control. Alec Hildebattle behind us. Next to Brett Hollander, I'm Ben Wagner. All of a sudden, Merrill Kelly can win this ball game if he completes 5. He's leading 4-2, and he gets Taylor Ward to pop up the first pitch that he sees in the left field Tawa trots in and handles the out. So 1 up, 1 down on 1 pitch. The Diamondbacks turning the complexion of this game around with Eldamario Vargas striking a 3-run home run and Jose Fernandez an RBI double, making a 2-run cushion for Arizona. And here comes Pete Alonso. Alonso lined out hard to right field his first time up and then drew another walk in the third. Alonso has been on base 7 out of the last 11 plate appearances. Takes a curveball in tight for ball 1. It has been a big 12 hours for Pete Alonso and his family. His wife Haley is here. Watched the dramatic home run last night. Kelly misses downstairs and falls behind 2 balls and no strikes. And earlier today, on behalf of the Alonso Foundation, he had a great day with the dogs at Barks. Turns on the 2-0 and bounces it foul. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. So he hits a go-ahead home run last night. His really first big in the moment, changed the complexion of the game with a swing from Pete. And everything was in that moment. I mean, it was cinematic, right? You got a guy bouncing around in a bird bath wearing the head of a polar bear that gets hit on the fly by the Alonso home run. The 2-1. Over for a called strike. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then Pete Alonso endears himself even deeper to the community through his foundation with a $10,000 donation to Barks earlier today here in Baltimore. The 2-2. That misses low. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. One down. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a changeup. And Alonso is down on strikes. And here comes Samuel Basallo, who's got the tail of the tape today. A 431-foot home run to start the second inning. And then in the third, he took a walk. Walks are brought to you by the Good Feet store. Get out of pain and back to doing what you love at the Good Feet store. Go to goodfeet.com to find a store near you and book your appointment. Basallo takes low from Kelly, and it's 1-0. 2 away in the 5th. Orioles down 4-2. The pitch. Swing and a miss by Basallo. Well, he let it rip there. Came up empty. Basallo is going to get a lot of headlines with the long ball, deservedly so. But now he has taken a walk 5 times in the last 6 games. Seven walks on the season for the Oriole backstop. The 1-1. Pull on the ground. Diving stop made in the hole by Vargas. He pops up and then throws to first in time to get the out on Basallo and retires the Orioles 1-2-3 here in the 5th. 5 complete. Diamondbacks still on top by a pair, leading 4-2 tonight at Camden Yards on the Orioles Radio Network.
Ever feel like
we're 4 runs in the 5th inning and taking a 4-2 lead over the Orioles? As we go to the 6th, let's bring back the play-by-play story from Brett Hollander.
Mr. Wagner, thank you so much. Luke and Baker leading off for the Diamondbacks. In the top of the 6th, Garcia swing and a miss with a slider. This guy is just dealing since Jump Street when pitchers and catchers arrived in Sarasota, Florida. He has been something else. The 0-1, a strike on the outside corner, back to a slider, and he dotted the outside corner. 0-2, Orioles being out hit tonight 9-5. The big blow, a 3-run homer by Vargas. That gave Arizona the lead. It looked like Trevor Rogers on the 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Curveball puts him away. Another punch out for Garcia. It looked like Rogers was just going to be Trevor Rogers. 4 scoreless. Orioles had a lead. Well on his way to a quality start and another win. The Orioles are actually 3-0 on days he pitches. To me, that number does matter when you look at starting pitching. Not necessarily the individual record, as James McCann looks at 1-0. But it just says that every time he's out there, you got a real shot. And then something funny happened on the way to that idea in the top of the fifth. A 4-run outburst by Arizona. A strike there in the outside corner. 1-1. Grant Wolfram's warming up in the Orioles pen. It looks like the Diamondbacks are going to stay with Merrill Kelly here. His first start off the injured list. 1-1 to the former Oriole McCann, who hits it high and foul, slicing well out of play down the right field line. 1-2. Baltimore down 4-2 in the top of the sixth. Rico Garcia. His 1-2. Off the plate outside with a slider, leaning heavily on that pitch tonight. 2-2. The pitch. Jam shot ground ball hit sharply to second base. Jeremiah Jackson has it. Takes his time on to first with the catcher running. McCann retired. 2 up, 2 down in the sixth for Garcia. That was 96 with that fastball up in on the hands of McCann. Garcia's faced 3 batters. He's retired all of them. Tim Tawa will bat. By the way, special birthday shout out on this April the 14th. Orioles public address announcer, the voice of Camden Yards, Adrian Roberson, is celebrating a birthday here at the ballpark today. Slider down to Tawa, 1-0.
Well, happy birthday, Adrian.
Yeah, happy birthday, Adrian. Working hard on her B-Day. Garcia works from the stretch where the base is empty. The pitch. Jam shot into center field. Taveras in his tracks. Backs up a few steps, and he makes the catch. Rico Garcia, 4 up, 4 down, at it again. Keeps it right where it is. 4-2 arrows.
And rewarding nights to be at the ballpark. Military Appreciation Night when the Orioles take on the Houston Astros Tuesday, April the 28th. Honor those that have served our country and score an exclusive military cap. Grab your tickets, Orioles.com/ticket packages.
I just had a weird experience, Wags. I just looked at the big, beautiful scoreboard in center, and I saw my parents on it. That was weird. It's kind of in my own element here, thinking about this bottom of the sixth. 4-2. Dylan Beavers takes the ball outside. 1-0. Merrill Kelly still out there. He was on the ropes. He allowed a single run the second, a single run the third. The Orioles left him loaded in the third. Beavers takes a strike, 1-1. The sixth inning is when the comeback started last night. Baltimore down 4-2 right now. Beavers, Taveras, and Kauser due up against Merrill Kelly. There is action now in the Diamondbacks pen. That changeup runs away from Beavers, 2-1. How about Rico Garcia? Something tells me you could roll him out of bed any month of the year. He's going to get a few outs for you. The 2-1. Beavers takes a close pitch. That's just off the plate. He lays off a pretty good changeup, and it's 3-1. Both teams, by the way, have 1 ABS challenge remaining. 3-1 to Beavers. Big swing. He fouls it right back behind home plate. 3-2. The sixth inning is brought to you by PNC. Patience is a winning strategy in baseball and banking. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. Taylor Clark, a right-hander, getting loose for Arizona. Beavers takes ball 4. There's your leadoff walk. And very quickly here in the sixth, the tying run will come to the plate in Leody Taveras, who walked with the bases loaded his last plate appearance. That drove in a run. He also has had a deep fly ball to center field that was caught. The Orioles have 3 or 4 deep fly ball outs tonight. I'm talking very deep. And all pretty much straightaway center. Taveras hits it on a line to left field. Tawa is back over to his right. He makes the catch. That was hit very sharply off the bat at Taveras as Beavers heads back to first. 1 down.
Did you not know your mom and dad were coming to the game tonight?
I knew that the game,
Oh,
but I didn't know they'd be on the big scoreboard. Torey Lovello out to make a pitching change. Merrill Kelly in line to win this game. He will leave with a lead with one out in the bottom of the sixth in his return from the injured list, pitching for his hometown Diamondbacks. He exits, pitching change here in the sixth of the ballpark. And this call of the bullpen is brought to you by the relief pitcher on for the Diamondbacks. It's the right-hander Taylor Clark. Outing over for Merrill Kelly in line to win this game. Beavers is on at first. There is one out. Clark making his 9th appearance of the year. He's covered 7 2/3, an ERA of 4.7. The Orioles did a number on the Diamondbacks bullpen last night. They roughed up Arizona. First pitch to Cowser, 1-0. That one missed. A changeup that was down. The Diamondbacks pen last night went 2 2/3, 7 earned runs, and allowed 3 home runs. Quick toss over to first. Back with a dive is Beavers. And I think the Diamondbacks want to make sure they should not challenge that play at first base on the pickoff attempt. They will not. Playing on now. The 1-0. There goes Beavers. The pitch is low. Throw to second base is out is the call. Beavers out at second. Tag applied by Perdomo. Orioles very aggressive, down 2 runs in the sixth, and they will not challenge this. Beavers erased. So Beavers thrown out at second base. Jeremiah Jackson was back-picked at third with only 1 out in a big play in this game. That was a great throw by McCann. The Orioles are really testing McCann tonight. But the Orioles also being very aggressive on the bases. Beavers was out. Now 2 outs, bases empty for Cowser, who's ahead in the count 2-0. Colton rolls it towards the Orioles dugout. Foul, 2-1. So Taylor Clark, the Arizona pitcher, been around. Do you know what his wife's name is, Ben Wagner? Cowser hits it sharply, and it's scooped up in short right by the second baseman Vargas. He spins, fires to first, and Cowser is retired. A hard ground ball out for Colton, and the Orioles are done in the sixth. The answer is Taylor Clark. Grant Wolfram into this game. Baltimore down by 2. Top of the seventh inning is brought to you by the Maryland Mortgage Program. 7 steps to home ownership. Start your journey at mfp.maryland.gov. Grant Wolfram's been really good, particularly as of late. This is his 7th game. He has pitched in 6 different games. He has struck out a batter in every game he's pitched. A bunt, back to the mound. Wolfram has it. He spins onto first base. Not a great throw, but it gets there. And the number 9 batter, Barossa, is retired. 1 down, and Wolfram on 1 pitch gets a thank you very much out.
Yeah, thank you very much. And luckily, with that lollipop to first base, Barossa started to power down, too. That could have been a very interesting turn of events.
Vargas will bat. He has the big blow in this game, a 3-run homer in the 5th. Last 4 outings for Wolfram, scoreless. Strike there in the inside corner, 0-1, with 6 strikeouts in that span, and he's only allowed 2 hits. Right now he's filling up the strike zone, and if he's throwing strikes, he's almost unhittable. The stuff is nasty. The angle is nasty. He and Rico right now, big-time finds. The 0-1, inside for a ball, 1-1. 1 out, bases empty. Baltimore down by 2. 4-2 in the top of the 7th. Tomorrow, a matinee, 12:35 on what is expected to be another very warm day in downtown Baltimore. Swing and a miss at a curveball. That time Vargas came out of his shoes to try and get to that ball. It's 1-2. We're on the air at 12. It is Jackie Robinson Day here at the ballpark. Before the Orioles hit the road. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Got him with a curve. Another punch out for Wolfram. He has 11 strikeouts now in 6 2/3 of this season. And it just falls off a table. Corbin Carroll will bat. Orioles bullpen has been lights out for about 8 games now. Really ever since that Povich outing in Pittsburgh on that getaway day. In a loss. Slider inside, 1-0. The question is right now about tomorrow, is that a rubber game or will the Orioles be going for a sweep? It's 4 in Cleveland and then 3 in Kansas City. The 1-0. Carroll takes a ball, a slider that was elevated, 2-0. Wolfram works from the stretch with the bases empty. The pitch. Up and away for a ball, 3-0. Perdomo, a switch hitter who has 3 hits tonight, is on deck. The 3-0 pitch to Corbin Carroll. A strike. On the outside corner, a two-seamer at 96. 3-1. Left on left in the pitch. A strike 2. Back to that sinker. That is a heavy sinker coming from 6'8". Not sure why you would deviate from that now. If you can throw a strike with it. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. He got him with the slider. Another strikeout for the Wolfman. The Wolf of Whitemarsh. Grant Wolf for MedStar Health. MedStar Health is proud to be the trusted. Brent Ben with you. Oriole Park at Camden Yards on a Tuesday night. Middle game of 3. Brent Ben with you. Oriole Park at Camden Yards on a Tuesday night. Middle game of 3 between the Orioles and Diamondbacks. Jeremiah Jackson leads off for Baltimore, and he taps the first pitch foul, 0-1. Jackson, Alexander, and then the top of the order, and Gunnar Henderson. Just a 4-2 game. Orioles came back last night and won a game down 6 runs at one point. So do they have another comeback in them? Jeremiah Jackson, 2 for 2 so far tonight. Taylor Clark, his pitch, swing and a miss. Good slider there. It disappeared on Jeremiah, 0-2. The veteran right-hander Taylor Clark comes home. A ground ball hit to shortstop. Perdomo has it. A few steps towards first. He fires there, and Jeremiah Jackson is retired.
Well, Brett, cheer on the Orioles on Saturday, April the 25th. When the Red Sox are in town, be one of the first 20,000 and get an Orioles hockey jersey presented by Lido Pizza. Buy your tickets right now and get your Orioles hockey jersey on April the 25th by going to Orioles.com/tickets.
1 out, base is empty. Blaze Alexander batting. 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt. Ground ball hit to third, backhanded there by Arenado, across the diamond in plenty of time to get Alexander. He made that look routine, even though I don't think it was, but that's one of the great defensive third basemen, one of. This is Baltimore, after all, of all time. 2 up, 2 down for Clark in the bottom of the 7th. Yanier Cano starting to loosen up for Baltimore, and now Henderson will bat with 2 outs and the bases empty. Right on left. Gunnar takes one high for a ball, 1-0. Henderson 0 for 3 so far tonight. If he gets on, Taylor Ward would bat. 4-2 Arizona, bottom of the 7th. Up and away to Gunnar, 2-0. Henderson now second in the big leagues in home runs with 6. Jordan Walker surged ahead with 8 for the Cardinals. The 2-0. Ball 3 to Gunnar. A sinker down. The Orioles need a base runner. Taylor Clark rocks and deals. A strike right down the middle, 3-1 to Henderson. I think you want to put this game again in the hands of Pete Alonso. 3-1 to Henderson. The pitch by Clark. Poke down the left field line. It will go foul. Fading away off the netting. 3-2. That was right off the end of the bat. Three and two to Henderson. Clark's pitch. He gets a piece of one to stay alive. I was kind of amazed, Ben, and you had it perfectly summarized on the manager show today, that one, Craig Albanez's wife was listening to us while at a kids' baseball game when her husband was hit with a line drive in the Orioles dugout. The 3-2. Gunnar looks at strike 3. He can't believe it. No challenge. Gunnar guessing, I think, and he just let strike 3. Grant Wolfram remains in the game. Orioles down just a couple of runs, but we're now in the 8th. And back to work is Ben Wagner.
All right, thank you very much, Brett. The lefty Wolfram picks up the target and pitches to Geraldo Perdomo. And he deals. Fastball high for ball 1. Orioles had a 2-0 lead with tallies in the 2nd and the 3rd. A 4-run 5th inning ignited by Eldemario Vargas in his 3-run homer. It's the Diamondbacks with a 2-run lead. Perdomo swings and taps it away foul at home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Orioles will wrap up their 3-game series against the D-backs tomorrow afternoon. And for the first time this season, something new, brand new, that the Orioles will have to contend with. 1-1 from Wolfram, squaring around, pulling back. Did he offer? No, is the call from John Tumpain, first base umpire. What will the Orioles see that they have not seen to this point in the year? Tomorrow afternoon, they will face their first left-handed starter this season. That is unheard of to get to this point in the year without seeing a lefty starter. 2-1, fired right across by Wolfram, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eduardo Rodriguez, he'll be the starter for the Diamondbacks. Now, time called by Perdomo. He's had a big night at the plate. A 3-hit performance, a couple of stolen bases, and a run scored. Cano loosening behind the lefty. The 2-2 pitch to the right-hand batter. Swing and a miss. Got him with a sinker. Another strikeout for Grant Wolfram. He's fanned 3 and retired all 4. This Orioles bullpen may have been underrated coming into the season, but the guys that take over in the moments of leverage have been absolutely nails. Here comes manager Craig Albanez to make a pitching change in this design pocket for Yennier Cano. The batter will be Jose Fernandez. Wolfram out of the ball game. Diamondbacks on top. He works here in the 8th inning with Baltimore trailing 4-2. A big pocket in this ball game. Jose Fernandez, the first to face the sinker baller, rolls in a slider for strike 1. Fernandez today in that cleanup spot is 2 for 3. He single leading off the 2nd, taken off on a double play ball, fanned in the 4th, and then doubled home a run back in the 5th. The pitch pulled away foul. And Cano's out in front, 0-2. Looking ahead to the home 8th. Taylor Ward, Pete Alonso, and Samuel Basayo coming up. The right arm dangles from Cano. He straightens high. Hands together in front of the letters. And the 0-2, wasted down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Leody Taveras shaded a little bit towards right field, opening a big gap in left center. Fernandez pulls the ball to the alley. The Diamond is playing straight up and relaxed. The 1-2, tapped away foul off the plate. Stays 1 ball and 2 strikes on Fernandez. Nolan Arenado waiting on deck. Cano upright and readies and fires. And it's on the inside corner, a slider. Slips on the inside, backs up Fernandez for strike 3. Wolfram and Cano have combined to strike out 4 straight Diamondback batters.
Ben, On the Farm is presented by Royal Farms. Don't forget your Orioles cup next time you fill up at Royal Farms. Enjoy discounted drinks all year long, only for O's, only at Royal Farms.
There's Nolan Arenado, who left his minor league days in the very rear view.
Yeah.
Strike on the outside.
A long time ago. Mike Irish hit a home run tonight for Frederick. I checked in on Vance Honeycutt. We all remember the spring that he had. So far, 7 games, 24 at-bats.
0-1 downstairs.
He's hitting just 167. He does have a couple of extra base hits, including a home run. He had a really rough year last year. Obviously, a lot of positive signs out of spring training.
1 ball and 1 strike on the batter, Arenado. The pitch by Cano. He jackknifes out of the way of a splitter. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. That's a righty-on-righty splitter from Yennier Cano. It's fun watching these prospects. There's a whole host of them, both pitching and, of course, at the plate. 2-1. Ground ball towards the hole. Backhanded pickup by Henderson. Sets his feet. Lets it fly across in time to get the out and retire the side. Pretty play with Henderson ranging a couple of strides to his right. On the backhand, cocked back and let it.
This copyright broadcast is presented by the authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles.
With Brett Hollander, I'm Ben Wagner. Last of the 8th inning, Taylor Ward will lead it off. Birds down 4-2. And the first pitch in there from Juan Murillo, a called strike 1 on Taylor Ward. Ward, in between a couple of fly balls tonight, has singled, swiped a bag, and come in to score. One of the 2 runs tonight for Baltimore. The other one powered in by Samuel Basayo. Strike 1 pitch to Ward. Downstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Juan Murillo has been scoreless in his last 6 appearances. He's been tough righty on righty. The 1-1. Tails over the inside corner with a slider backing up Ward. And Murillo is in front. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Murillo has allowed just 1 home run in his last 41 games. That goes all the way back to last May. A 1-2, swinging a fly ball out to right field. Carroll trots over to his left, raises the right arm and hauls in the fly ball from Ward. There's 1 down.
The lefty Riquet and the righty Nunez warming up for Baltimore.
Lucan Baker, James McCann, and Tim Tawa in the 9th for the Diamondbacks. Orioles trailing 4-2. They would love to rip off one of those 1-run deficits here with a swing from Pete. The pitch, a fastball in there for a called strike. That is one of the best fastballs that Major League Baseball has seen over the last year. Last year, one of the best velocities in the National League for rookies belonged to Murillo. A 98-mile-an-hour heater. And here's another one, a sinker at 98 miles an hour. Both in for strikes, and it's 0-2 on Alonso. Last season, Murillo averaged 98.6 miles per hour with his big league fastball. The 0-2 pitch, up and away. That one at 99 miles an hour. He's going right after the Orioles slugger. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Second time they faced off, and Alonso swings and fouls back the 4-seamer. And the count holds 1-2. One, 2. Slider down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Not only did Murillo have the best fastball in the senior circuit for rookies, but he was right there with Mason Miller, Adrian Morejon, Victor Vondick, Robert Suarez, the 2-2. A slider just off the outside corner. And a challenge is coming now from James McCann.
Previous pitch is called the ball. The catcher's challenge.
Well, this is big on a few levels.
It's either going to be a strikeout, and it's outside. It is a ball.
Pitch to the ball. Arizona has no challenges.
And they have no challenges.
That is the last challenge that the Diamondbacks had. They cooked one early, and they've been sitting on it. They use it here in the 8th, and it's gone. And now Murillo with a 3-2 pitch to Alonso. And it's a slider in for strike 3, and now Alonso taps his cap.
Previous pitch is called the strike. This is a batter challenge.
A batter challenge. Everybody laser locked on the video board. And it is a ball.
Pitch is a ball. Baltimore has one challenge remaining.
The man can do no wrong.
It's big.
It is huge. The tying run gets in the batter's box, and we've already seen what Big Sam can do. A 431-foot home run back in the second. Now Basayo, and the biggest at bat in this game for the Orioles. The pitch. Down and away, ball 1. Murillo has had a lot of his success against right-handed hitters. He gets the left-handed slugger. The pitch. Up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Murillo has been outstanding against both sides this season in the early going. Tying run in the box. The pitch. Basayo bounces it past Arenado into left field, a base hit. A 2-hit night, the 3rd time that Basayo has been aboard. Alonso stands at second. The tying runs are on. And Dylan Beavers with the go-ahead run strolling to the dish.
The Orioles do not, Ben Wagner, have the depth that they had maybe a few days ago with all the injuries. But would you consider maybe pinch running here? The trail runner at first with Basayo. I think the risk is your only other catcher is Maverick Hanley. And if he were to bat later in the game, you don't love your chances.
You're right. You lose the big bat with Samuel Basayo. I think if this inning changes, you get further ahead, maybe second and third and one out, perhaps. Load the bases, perhaps. You've got good contact coming up with Leody Taveras, the way he's been swinging it right now. But Dylan Beavers, not worried about who's running. He's up there to hit right now. 0 for 2 tonight, forced a walk back in the 6th inning. He's been remarkable at working counts. 5 walks in his last 20 plate appearances, 31 walks in his first 49 games in the big leagues. The Orioles need this patience right now. Tying runs on. The pitch to Beavers. And a fastball outside, ball 1. Alonso drifting his lead away from second. Peeks past his right shoulder. Checking on where Perdomo is playing him at short. Arenado, the third baseman, starts even with the bag. The 1-0. Beavers takes a strike right over the outside corner. Heavy dose of fastballs coming from Murillo against Dylan Beavers. That was a perfect pitch, too, from the young right-hander. Bottom outside corner. Right side of the diamond is deep. Big lead at first with a tying run. The pitch. Beavers gets a strike. A fastball poured right over. And it's 1-2.
Previous pitch is called the strike. Batter's challenging.
Beavers is going to challenge. This puts the final challenge in ABS in jeopardy. And it is a strike. The Orioles will lose it.
Pitch is a strike. Baltimore has no challenges left.
So the challenges are zeroed out. That was a bottom inside corner on Dylan Beavers. As good as the prior pitch was away, this one was equally as good on the inside. Beavers was visibly frustrated. Now he's back in. The 1-2. Low line drive at shortstop, played on a bounce, bobbled by Perdomo. A play at second, the only one. Alonso will reach third. Beavers on the fielder's choice is safe at first base in what should have been an ending double play. A juggle by Perdomo, the shortstop. Maybe he was deterred for a moment with Alonso flashing in front of him on that low liner that he tried to corral. But a window of opportunity here for Baltimore. No, it wasn't Pete. He flat out dropped this baseball.
He is so lucky that thing kicked back up to him. It cost him an out, but that could have been a total disaster. It fell out of his hand, and it's just stayed kind of right there.
Alonso leans away at third, tying run over at first, now at 2 down. Here's Leody Taveras. Murillo deals. Fastball away, ball 1.
This is going to sound funny, but Cowser's on deck. This is all hard stuff. This is much more of a Cowser type at bat. You would love to get the game to him right now.
I'm right there with you. 1-0 the count. Taveras takes away. 2 balls and no strikes. The things that have been the absolute albatross for Colton Cowser this season, changeups and splitters. Murillo has relied on his heater to the success of the major leagues. Tying run at first. We're in the 8th. The pitch. Taveras swings and misses. Goes over the top of a changeup. All right, well, there's part of the reason that you're watching Murillo and his repertoire.
It's a firm changeup, though.
That went in at 91 miles an hour. The pitch. Taveras breaks his bat. Shards go all over the infield. That ball trickles its way to the third base dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes. New lumber on the way for Leody Taveras. Alonso with a 1-out walk. Now at 2 down. Beavers is aboard with a tying run at first. Murillo with electric stuff. Now Taveras asks for time, backs away from the left-handed batter's box, cinches up those bright orange batting gloves. Knocks the big into the bat, into the center of the plate. Open gate on the left side of the diamond towards the middle. Tying run at first with 2 out. And the pitch to Taveras. Soft line drive, base hit left center field. Alonso comes in to score. Beavers goes to second with a tying run, and Leody Taveras cashes in. He makes it a 1-run game. A 2-out base hit to drive in Alonso here in the 8th inning. And the Orioles once again are knocking on the door.
How about his at-bats tonight? A deep fly ball out, a walk with the bases loaded to drive in a run, a line drive out, and then with all the chips on the line, a clean single to center to get another run home. He has 7 runs batted in already this year.
Yeah, the jump start of the rally last night for the Birds. And their 6-run barrage. Came all the way from behind, won the game 9-7. Here's Colton Cowser in the matchup we're watching with a tying run at second. The pitch, fastball high and tight. He backpedals out of the way, nearly getting clipped by that pitch. A 98-mile-an-hour fastball towards Cowser. Beavers the tying run in scoring position. Taveras, who's got wheels, gets a big lead away from first. The 1-0. That's a fastball high. 2 balls and no strikes. And now, how big is the belief of the changeup or slider of Jose Murillo? He's behind on Cowser. Cowser can just look at his spot. He's in the driver's seat. The 2-0. Over for a called strike, and he went with a 4-seam fastball. Looks like Cowser was patient and maybe willing to take a strike. Last night off his 2-homer game, Jeremiah Jackson out on deck. Go-ahead runs on. And the 2-1 to Colton is low. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. As if 2-0 wasn't exciting enough for Colton Cowser, now it's 3-1. Tying run at second. Go-ahead run here in the 8th on at first. Cowser in control of the at-bat. The 3-1 is high, ball 4. That might be the best at-bat of the season from Colton Cowser. It is a walk, and guess what? This week, Mr. Grand Slam is coming to the plate. Torey Lovullo is also coming out of the dugout to make a pitching change. The Orioles manager, Craig Albernaz, on the near end of the dugout, watching Jackson come back to look at the iPad as Torey Lovullo reaches the mound, claps his hands together to make this pitching change, brought to you by the auto loan experts at Point Breeze Credit Union, celebrating 90 years in your neighborhood. Do not turn that dial. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and the Orioles down 4-3, hitting here in the
plus to subscribe today.
Welcome to the drama-filled Oriole Park tonight. 4-3 Diamondbacks in front by a run. Jeremiah Jackson, who cranked his first career grand slam, comes to the plate with 2 outs here in the 8th with the bases loaded again. Will they love the long ball? Sure, but they'd take a base hit. The sidewinder gives up the pitch. It's tapped out in front of the plate. Thompson races to first, throws on to first in time to get the out and retire the side. He comes in. Jeremiah Jackson sends away the first pitch. Just got it weakly through foul territory out in front of the plate. Thompson called. We go to the 9th inning, being brought to you by SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of the Baltimore Orioles. It is a pressure cooker right now. Diamondbacks in front 4-3. Yadier Cano will bridge the 8th into the 9th. Luke and Baker will lead it off for the D-backs, and Cano's fastball is inside for ball 1. Looking ahead to Baltimore's 9th inning, Blaze Alexander, Gunnar Henderson, and Taylor Ward are the 3 coming up. Cano kicks and deals. Baker looks at a slider, in for a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Baker, who was pressed into emergency services right before the bell rang. Manager Torey Lovullo making a late lineup change and inserting Baker. 1-1 pitch, tapped away, foul at home plate, and Cano jumps in front 1-2. Baker in the ball game, 1 for 3, getting his first base hit of 2026. But the Diamondbacks lost, and we have not seen is Ketel Marte, and we're not sure about his availability. Marte had a big night at the plate last night with a couple of homers. The pitch from Cano, fastball wasted outside, levels off the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Samuel Bassal got the scoring started tonight with his second inning solo blast. A bases loaded walk in the 3rd made it 2-0. Diamondbacks played at 4 in the 5th. The pitch from Cano. Baker swings and misses and goes down on strikes. Second strikeout for Cano. He's retired all 3. We're in the 9th, 1 out. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification across the Orioles radio network. Ryan Leschko, Alec Hildebattle helping us along tonight. Next to Brett Hollander, I'm Ben Wagner. Manager Craig Albernaz once again left last night's contest after getting struck by a line drive in the face in the near end of the dugout. Went to the hospital and watched this one on
at a time. If you're injured in a car crash, call the Mike Slocum Law Firm. 844-MIKE-WINS. After your settlement, you'll be saying, oh, yeah.
Nick Roque out of the bullpen for the Orioles with 1 down and nobody on here in this top of the 9th inning, where the Diamondbacks have a 4-3 lead over the Birds. Buries the first pitch that he throws to James McCann. Veteran backstop, takes a fastball off the plate, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. With Brett Hollander, I'm Ben Wagner. Good one cooking up. Going down to the finish line. Big bats looming for the Birds in the bottom of the 9th. The 2-0. Way outside for ball 3. Second year as a Diamondback. Last year for James McCann was his best OPS in a full season since 2019. At a 755 OPS. That's with one out, nobody on. The 3-0. That zips over for a called strike.
Riquet pitched on Friday night in the loss to San Francisco, Ben. His first appearance as an Oriole, third major league appearance ever. He did struggle, but to be fair, he had not pitched in a game in some time.
Yeah, better part of 10 days. The 3-1. McCann gets a strike over the knees. Riquet trying to bounce himself back into this at bat.
He's a great story. Spent some time playing summer ball in Baltimore, played at Calvert Hall, played with Gavin Sheets, played for his father, Larry Sheets.
Lefty set. The pitch to McCann. Swung on and fouled away at the plate.
But he was on his way in a career in finance and said he still has the itch. Went back, played some indie ball, got a chance with St. Louis, appeared in a few big league games, and now he's thrusted in it right now.
30 years of age. And the 3-2 to McCann. Breaking ball on a line, straightaway center field. That's down for a base hit. Solid contact right back up the box by McCann. A one-out base runner. Listen, he's got the itch, and they didn't take the jersey away.
No.
And if you want to play, continue playing until they take the jersey off your back.
There's always going to be time for a career in finance. It's a limited opportunity for a life in baseball.
Looking for a man in finance?
Yes, always.
6 foot, 215 pounds. McCann supported first for Tim Tawa. Lefty to the right-hand batter. Fastball's away for ball one.
It's an interesting move here. I think Riquet has to pitch. If he's going to be here, he's got to get into some games to see if he can settle in. Remember, Dietrich Enns is on the injured list. Keegan Aiken is on the injured list. So there are only two lefties in the Orioles' pen.
The 1-0. Outside, behind again, 2 balls and no strikes, and now a sprint to the mound by Samuel Basayo to calm down his lefty. Good news for Keegan Aiken. He's on the track to return. He's going to start his major league rehab assignments.
Yeah, this bullpen should get better. And it's been really good. At some point, Aiken. At some point, Andrew Kittredge.
Another reason that they've been good, they have been placed in the ultimate pockets for success, too, by Drew French and Craig Albernaz. The pitch to Tim Tawa, over for a called strike after the mound visit by Basayo. This bullpen has been lights out. Tons of zeros. 2-1 coming. Tails outside. 3 balls and 1 strike on Tim Tawa. The left fielder who's 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts and a fly ball to center field. Just a 3 for 31 start to the year. Runner at first in a 1-run game. The pitch. Off the cup into the bat. Dribbling out to second. Charging in. Jackson's got it. Looks at the runner. Tags him. Has no play. Over at first. Now McCann didn't think that he got tagged. He tiptoes over to second base, completing that play. But the umpire said, no, good try. You are out. But he did stop in the base pad, and that gave an opportunity for the runner to reach at first base. If McCann doesn't power down, he might have run the Diamondbacks into an inning-ending double play. So had a drop, stop, and roll by McCann. Tawa aboard at first. And Jorge Barosa coming to the plate. In the ninth, Diamondbacks with a 4-3 lead. A step and a move towards first, sniffed out by Tawa, who ran a little bit last year when he was in the big leagues. Had 8 stolen bases. Has had limited playing time this season. Barosa doubled his first time up, walked and scored, and then hit a comebacker. The pitch, down and in. Did that get him? It did. Didn't like that. Now they move Tawa up to second base. Now Plunk puts the number 9 batter on base again. That's the 3rd time that Barosa has somehow, some way, been able to reach. The walk really burned the Birds back in the 5th inning, because that got Eldamario Vargas to the plate, and he clobbered a 3-run home run.
That is such a big run out there at second base. It's going to be Paul Sewald coming on for Arizona in the 9th, barring something unforeseen here. Well, right now, Riquet, he's just got to get Vargas. to give the Orioles the best possible chance for more magic tonight at the ballpark.
I'd sign up for a little ninth inning Orioles magic. In the ninth again, Blaze Alexander, Gunnar Henderson, and Taylor Ward will bat for Baltimore against Paul Sewald, the closer of the Diamondbacks. And there's not a lot of history between Sewald and any of the Orioles hitters. Runners aboard at first and second. Roque to the plate, and a curveball in there for a called strike one. Vargas has the biggest swing in this game so far, his 3-run home run, part of a 4-run fifth. It's a 4-3 Diamondbacks lead in the ninth. The pitch pulled away foul, third base side. No balls, 2 strikes. This is the best start to any at bat that the O's left-hander has had here in this ninth inning. Orioles trying to come from behind, win again tonight, and hold an early spot in first place in the division. The 0-2 bounce to the plate. The Johns Hopkins Medicine out-of-town scoreboard, by the way. The Angels have launched 4 home runs in the Bronx tonight, and they are blanking the New York Yankees 7-0.
Wow, I like that.
They are late in that ball game as well in the 8th. Runners aboard at first and second. 2 down. And a 1-2 pitch. Swinging a little dribbler, foul, third base side. The Johns Hopkins Medicine out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by the Johns Hopkins Children's Center, the region's premier destination for pediatric care. Trust your child's health to the experts at the Johns Hopkins Children's Center. Learn more at hopkinschildrens.org. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch from Roque, fouled away again at home plate. Just got a sliver on the last 2 swings by Vargas. Able to dribble it left on the prior pitch. And this one expanded the zone a little bit and may have got a chunk of Samuel Basayo.
I think so.
Basayo back in the crouch. Infield relaxed with 2 down. Outfield lined up straight away on a still night here in Baltimore. The 1-2 pitch. A fly ball shallow into right field. Coming on, Cowser dives, and he makes the catch! Holy Cowser! What a play! A headlong, run-denying, and maybe game-changing defensive play by Colton Cowser. He just had his best at bat of the season. He just made the best play of this season. A full extension headlong dive to retire the side. Oriole Park came out of their chairs with what could have changed the complexion of this game. A diving grab to deny the Diamondbacks some insurance made by Colton Cowser. This place was rocking in between innings. To the bottom of the ninth we go. Blaze Alexander, Gunnar Henderson, and Taylor Ward out to face Paul Sewald, pitching for the ninth time this year. Righty on righty with Alexander. The pitch from Sewald up and in, ball 1. Sewald, a long-time leverage reliever. Came onto the scene, was very underappreciated with the New York Mets. Pitched some massive games with the Mariners. He's back again with the Diamondbacks. The 1-0. Alexander swings and misses. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Gunnar Henderson is out on deck. Taylor Ward set to follow. Those are the 3 guaranteed to bat in a 1-run game here in the ninth. 4-3 Arizona. The 1-1. Swinging a foul back. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Sewald's off to his usual good start, but what jumps out at you is the 2 home runs allowed very early in the season for someone like Sewald to already have given up 2 long balls.
A 284 earned run average on the year. He's in front 1-2. The pitch to Alexander in at the knuckles. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You'd love to get the leadoff guy on for all the obvious reasons, but Blaze has a ton of speed, and it puts some immediate heat on Seawald and the Arizona defense.
0 for 2 tonight with a sacrifice. The 2-2 coming. Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes. Couldn't reach the fastball. There's a lot of deception with what is not an overpowering fastball from one of the game's best late inning, high leverage relievers, and now the closer in Arizona. Nobody has finished more games in the majors this season than Seawald, and he is 5 for 5 in save opportunities. Henderson bats. The pitch. Inside corner and strike one. A fastball at 91 miles an hour, and that's about it from Paul Seawald. Orioles trailing 4-3 here in the ninth. 0-1's up and away. 1 ball and 1 strike in what's been a difficult night for Henderson. He's been fanned a couple of times. 0 for 4, and his 7-game hit streak is on the line. A left-handed slugger. The 1-1. That's a fastball inside. Henderson has had some mighty wallop over the last week and a half. 6 home runs. Tied for second most in the major leagues with Yordan Alvarez, and now Aaron Judge after his 2 home run night last night. The 2-1 popped up. Left side of the diamond, trotting in his Arenado onto the infield grass, and there's 2 away. Tomorrow afternoon, the Orioles and Diamondbacks will wrap up their 3-game series. It'll be the first time that the Birds get a left-handed starter this season. In Game 17, they have yet to face a left-handed starter. We're on the air at noon. Taylor Ward at the plate. Swings and misses. Strike one. 12:35 first pitch. Kyle Bradish on the bump. 0-1. Ground ball towards the middle. Snared by Seawald. Sprints towards first. And he'll deliver it over to Baker for out number 3 to finish the ball game. Well, the Orioles didn't have the magic working on consecutive nights. They made a ball game out of it. They had a couple of massive defensive plays, but